And now please welcome your conference chair from the U.S. Department of Veterans Affairs, Ann Marie Sweet-Abshire.
Hi everyone, good morning. So my name is Ann Marie Sweet-Abshire. I'm the chairperson of this year's CII Annual Conference, and I'm the Quality Assurance Director at Department of Veterans Affairs for Hospital and Cemetery Construction. On behalf of my colleagues at CII, I just want to welcome you to the National Capital Region. We have an exceptional conference in store. There's lots of new research, case studies, some wonderful speakers, and the improved CII knowledge-based website, which you all get a chance to see later, and a new approach to the former CII communities of practice, which that whole reorganization thing, there'll be some meetings on Thursday for those groups, which I think is exciting. But before we begin, let's have a note on safety. To everyone's right, if you exit out those side doors, they go directly to the courtyard outside the hotel, or if you exit to the rear, then you go out and go to your left, and again, you'll exit directly out into the parking area. If you experience an emergency in the hotel, please dial 333 and there will be a staff member to help you, or contact a CII staff member. They have trained CPR here on staff, so if something happens, please get help right away. Let's see, okay. So the theme of this year's conference is elect to make CII work for you. And while that may seem a tiny bit cliche, it's better than some of the ones we could have chosen. A change order you can believe in, a chicken in every pot, a safety glove on every hand, or read my lips, no new fragnets. All right, now it's an amazing time in Washington, D.C. The air is electric. There's the teeming excitement of the upcoming election. My advice to you as a native of the area is to take advantage of things now. Congress is actually in recess, so it's a good time to visit while there's not quite so much traffic. As you explore the area, you'll actually find yourself surrounded by tremendous architecture and amazing feats of construction, which we as U.S. citizens all actually own a part of because your tax dollars were used to build them. So right outside our hotel, some of you probably have a view of this out your window, is the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, connecting Alexandria, Virginia to Oxon Hill, Maryland, across the Potomac River. And the construction of this massive bridge and supporting infrastructure took place between 1999 and 2013 through a partnership between the VA, Maryland, and DC Departments of Transportation, as well as the U.S. Federal Highway Administration. And during the time this was being planned and designed, there was a lot of citizen concerns from the city of Alexandria. There was a very historic cemetery that had to have some graves relocated. So it was really a tremendous number of stakeholders to manage. The construction took place with the original bridge standing right next door to it, and the original bridge was demolished after the first span of the new bridge was opened. All told, the project cost nearly $2.4 billion and was executed by 26 prime contractors and 260 subcontractors. So think about stakeholder management. I can't even imagine being on that project. Last year, we heard about how the Washington Monument, the 550-foot tall, was built in 2 phases, but not by design. The budget shortfalls and a war had the construction halted after approximately 1/3 of it was built. When it was restarted, the quarry that had been used for the first 1/3 had closed, and so the original stone was not available, and that's why you see that very distinctive mark across about 1/3 of the way up and different stone above. Now, in Virginia, we have this wonderful institution called Virginia Tech, and they had a way of controlling their supply chain, and that was by buying the quarry and calling it Hokie Stone. So no one else can buy that stone or use that stone except for the university, and that's what you call pre-project planning. All right, other buildings that you'll see, or you may have seen last night when we were downtown for the family reception. It's the Smithsonian. Smithsonian Institution is named for a British scientist, James Smithson, who gave the seed money to the United States government to create an institute for education. He wanted his money used in that way. Today, we see 30 million visitors annually in 19 museums, 9 research centers, and of course, the Smithsonian Zoological Park. Many of these facilities sit on the National Mall, just a stone's throw from the Washington Monument. The first being the castle. This building is now used mainly for administration, but that's the original building. Or the Air and Space Museum, where we spent time last night, which is the most popular museum, the world's most popular museum, and sees more than 6.7 million visitors walk through the doors each year. The latest addition to the Smithsonian family, about to open, is the National Museum of the African American History, and that will be opening sometime this fall. It's going to be a very interesting museum. I hope that you'll have time to come back and visit. At the other end of the mall from the Washington Monument is the U.S. Capitol building, and it's 222-year-old and was designed in succession by a number of architects: William Thornton, Benjamin Latrobe, Charles Bulfinch, Thomas Walter, and Auguste Schönborn. As our nation grew, so did this impressive structure, starting in the center and then building out for the Houses of Congress. Most recently, it was expanded to include an impressive visitor center, which is underground so that you can't see it as you drive by, so that all of the park areas around the building remain intact, and the visitor center is underground and very unobtrusive. Today, we're witnessing a major restoration of the Capitol building. If you go downtown right now, the entire dome is scaffolded because they're restoring all of the exterior portions of the building where the stone has started to deteriorate and some of the decoration has begun to fail. Be it the Washington Monument, the Woodrow Wilson Bridge, Smithsonian, or any of the other public infrastructure, the agencies responsible for these projects are only the stewards of the American taxpayer. And I'm proud to say that many have elected to have CII work for them, including the U.S. Corps of Engineers, Smithsonian Institution, Architect of the Capitol, Department of Veterans Affairs, and U.S. General Services Administration. The one tool that we all apply is the Project Definition Rating Index, PDRI. It makes sure that we're inclusive of all the best ideas of all the stakeholders, and that we're building the right project in the right place at the right time with scope and budget fully defined. The other tools, the CII best practices, certainly we apply from pre-planning all the way to construction closeout, startup, and turnover to the users. Do I have another slide? Yet another tool. My personal favorite is the CII Executive Leadership Program. This program, which currently is scheduled for January of 2017, is a great program for up-and-coming leaders, either yourself or someone else in your firm. I like to refer to it as MBA in a box. Architects and engineers are trained in architecture and engineering. We're not trained in business. So in order for your engineering staff to contribute to the overall business that you are in, it's really a great idea to expose them to the pieces of the business that they may not understand. The finances, the branding, the whole business model that you have, and having them see those other aspects. And the Executive Leadership Program is a great way to do that. Taught at the McCombs School of Business at the University of Texas in Austin. It's just, I can't say enough. It's a fabulous course, and your people deserve it, and you deserve the person that they are when they come out. It's not a single day that goes by that I don't use some aspect of that course, either in my personal, volunteer, or professional life. So I encourage you to take a look at that. All right, there are a few housekeeping notes. First, the guidelines for meetings and conferences for CII. I'm not going to read this, but you all know to be aware of them. This is a great conference because we're here as equals. We share ideas. We look for improvements to the industry and not necessarily for our own personal gain. So please keep that in mind as you interact throughout the day. In your packet, you'll have the mobile app guide. It tells you how to log in and download the app. And if you need help, there's a help desk right out in the back there. that someone can help you get logged on so you can get it on your phone and keep track of your day. Speaking of mobile devices, please set your phones to silent or vibrate so that if you're in the room and you get a call or a text and you need to take it, you can step out into the hallway and not disturb everyone else. All right. Please complete your survey. If you download the app, the survey's right there. So do it right after this session so that you have time and you still have your ideas fresh in your mind, that we can capture those. That's how we improve the conference every year. That's how the speakers know what they could have done better and that they can coach each other for follow-on sessions. So please remember to do that. Lastly, there is a PDH sign-up in the foyer. So if you missed it on your way in, there is a sign-up. All you need to do is put your name and signature at the start of the day and the end of the day, and then you'll be issued a certificate once the conference is over. All right. Over the next 3 days, rest assured that your intellect will be spurred and inspired by CII showcases the construction industry's most dynamic leaders, groundbreaking research. Your being here is a vote of confidence in everything CII stands for, and we're thrilled that you've elected to have CII work for you. And no matter how you cast your ballot this election season, if you're a U.S. citizen, I ask you to never lose sight of the freedoms and privileges we're afforded in this great nation, and be grateful for all those who have fought and continue to serve to protect those rights. As an employee of the Department of Veterans Affairs, that's on my mind every day for the veterans that we serve. And thank you.